As a security leader, you'll often hear privacy and security used interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. Your job is to know the difference, communicate it clearly, and build strategies that address both. Security is about protecting data from unauthorized access, modification, or destruction. Privacy is about controlling how that data is collected, used, shared, and retained, especially when it relates to individuals. You're not just defending systems, you're defending people's rights. And with privacy regulations becoming more complex and global, your leadership plays a key role in ensuring your organization not only secures data, but also uses it ethically and legally. Your security program is all about protecting confidentiality, integrity, and availability, the pillars of data protection. You invest in firewalls, encryption, access controls, endpoint protection, logging, and monitoring tools to prevent breaches, detect tampering, and ensure systems stay up and running. But here's the catch. Security doesn't automatically equal privacy. You can lock down your data against external threats, yet still mishandle it internally by collecting more than you need, sharing it without consent, or retaining it far longer than justified. That's where your leadership comes in. You need to make sure that your security controls support privacy, not undermine it. That means building access models that follow the principle of least privilege, ensuring that employees only see the data they truly need. It means enforcing data minimization, so your systems aren't hoarding personal information just in case. You need to establish retention schedules that delete data when it's no longer necessary, and maintain clear audit trails for anything that involves personally identifiable information, PII. In short, your role is to connect the dots, securing data and respecting the people it belongs to. Because when you treat privacy as part of your security strategy, not a separate obligation, you build a program that protects both your systems and your stakeholders. Privacy is fundamentally about respecting the rights of individuals, their right to know how their data is collected, how it's used, and to trust that it won't be misused or exposed. As a security leader, you need to recognize that privacy isn't just a technical issue. It's an organizational responsibility that spans product design, marketing, HR, legal, and operations. It's not enough to lock down data. You also have to ensure it's being handled in a way that's transparent, ethical, and lawful. Your role is to be a privacy enabler. You're the one who builds the technical guardrails, encryption, anonymization, access controls, and monitoring, but you also bridge the gap between legal requirements and engineering decisions. You help your teams implement consent mechanisms, data classification, and minimization practices, ensuring that personal data is only collected and processed when there's a clear, justified need. More importantly, you have to make sure that privacy is not just about checking boxes before an audit. It has to be part of your team's mindset from the very beginning. You lead by embedding privacy into your development lifecycle, your data architecture, and your incident response plans. When your teams see privacy not as a hurdle, but as a core value, that's when your organization begins to earn and sustain trust, both internally and externally. As a security leader, you're operating in a world defined by a complex and evolving web of data protection regulations. And it's your job to make sure your organization doesn't just comply, but demonstrates accountability at every level. Laws like the GDPR, EU, demand explicit consent, the right to be forgotten, and data portability. In the US, frameworks like CCPA, CPRA give consumers control over how their data is collected, sold, and shared. You also have industry-specific mandates like HIPAA, which governs the handling of health information. Then there are global frameworks like the Australian Privacy Act LGPD, Brazil, and PIPEDA, Canada, each adding another layer to your responsibility. Your leadership is critical in ensuring that data processing is lawful, transparent, and aligned with purpose. You need to verify that your third-party vendors follow the same standards you do when it comes to privacy, because your risk doesn't stop at your perimeter. You also need to define and manage clear breach notification timelines, ensuring incidents are documented and escalated in line with regulatory expectations. And when major changes to data processing occur, like launching new products or handling sensitive data, you're the one driving the need for privacy impact assessments, PIAs, to evaluate potential risks in advance. You don't have to memorize every legal clause, but you do need to build a framework that reflects the intent of these laws and can adapt as they change. You'll work hand in hand with legal, compliance, and data governance teams, but the technical enforcement, the controls, the logging, the visibility, rests with you. Your ability to translate legal requirements into operational safeguards is what demonstrates due diligence and builds a resilient, trusted organization in the eyes of regulators, partners, and customers. So, what's your leadership takeaway? Security is about protection. Privacy is about rights, and both are your responsibility. You lead by building an environment where data is secured by design and used with purpose. You define how your teams classify data, how access is granted, how breaches are handled, and how trust is maintained. When your security program supports privacy from the ground up, you don't just meet legal requirements. You earn credibility with customers, partners, and regulators. And in today's trust-driven digital world, that's one of the most valuable assets you can protect.